To me, Global Reach Out is inspiring.
It's connecting with God, reaching out to the world, and impacting life.
The stories that are shared is so personal and it deeply impacted me.
Global Reach Out to me is reach out to the truth.
Connecting hearts, connecting lives. You're listening to Global Reach Out.
My name is Matthew Lim. Nehemiah was a team player who empowered the people. He recognized that people were important and were appreciable assets. Without their cooperation, city walls could not and would not be built. Hence, he valued them and enlisted their help. Sometimes outside the family of God, 2:1-9, he mobilized and motivated them. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem and suffer derision no more. And they set about their work vigorously and to good purpose. 2:17-18. In the rebuilding of the city walls, we see a good picture of teamwork under the leadership of Nehemiah. He believed in teamwork because team works. He understood the power of we. Observed the progression. So I prayed. 2:4. So I came to Jerusalem. Verse 11. So they strengthened their hands for good work. Verse 18. See Nehemiah chapter 3 and the recurring phrase, next to them. So we built the wall. 4:6. So we prayed to a God and posted a God against them day and night. 4:9. So we labored. 21. And so the wall was finished. 6:15. He did the praying, surveying, and planning, but at the end it was we who built the wall. He gave credit to all. As it has been commonly pointed out, that a leader can get things done if he or she does not care who gets the credit. There's no I in the word teamwork. There's power in teamwork. The word team is an acronym for together everyone achieves more. Teamwork involves working together toward a common vision. The ability to direct individual accomplishments, the ability to direct individual accomplishments toward organizational objectives. It is the few that allows common people to attain uncommon results. Helen Keller said, it recognizes that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Hayward said this, and so many hands make light work. To put it in another way, teamwork means coming together, sharing together, working together. There's a power in the word we because none of us is as smart as all of us. Ken Blanchard. Peter Drucker said these words, the leaders who work most effectively, it seems to me, never say I. And that's not because they have been trained themselves not to say I. They don't think I, they think we, they think team. They understand the job to be made the team function. They accept responsibility and don't sidestep, but we get the credit. This is what creates trust, what enables you to get the work done. Margaret Mead said these words, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. John Donne. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Any man's death diminishes me because I'm involved in mankind, and therefore never sent to know for whom the bell toys. It toys for thee. Nehemiah, upon the completion of the city walls, had to return to Persia. his 4 months' leave were up. He understood the principle of delegation and empowerment. I gave the responsibility of governing Jerusalem to my brother Hanani, along with Hananiah, the commander of the fortress, for he was a faithful man who feared God more than the most. I said to them, do not leave the gates open until the hottest part of the day. And even while the gatekeepers were on duty, they have to shut and bar the doors, appoint the residents of Jerusalem to act as guards, everyone on the regular watch. Some were served at sentry posts and some in front of their own homes. He would choose them because they were trustworthy and God-fearing. Being before doing, character before charisma. By delegating, he lessened his burden and gave a chance to develop their leadership potential. Nehemiah understood the power of focus. The rebuilding project was almost completed. The walls were completed, but the gates had not been put in place. When his detractors, other coalition forces, realized this, their utmost final desperate attempt was to send a Reddits. When his detractors, coalition forces, realized this, their almost final desperate attempt was to send a letter to Nehemiah accusing him of sedition against the Persian Empire. Instead of responding in person to the invitation for a dialogue, most probably he said it was a ploy to murder him by Shemaiah. Nehemiah denied and refused to go and be sidetracked. Instead, he chose to be focused. He replied, I'm engaged in a great work, so I can't come. Why should I stop working to come and meet with you? 6:3. Instead of getting discouraged, Scripture informs us that he decided to continue the work with even greater determination. He also prayed to God for strength to continue his work and for divine vindication. Nehemiah exercised courageous leadership instead of status quo leadership. He was willing to risk his life for the sake of the community. It is a known fact that ancient monarchs from the ancient Near East were by nature whimsical. Some of the important decisions made were based on the temperament at the time. Hence, any inappropriate or ill-timed word spoken could cause the death of that person. Nehemiah took the risk to tell the king about the ruined walls in Jerusalem. The 3 opponents of Nehemiah were Sanballat the Horonite, from the city of Horonaim, a city of Moab mentioned in Isaiah 15:5, and Jeremiah 48:2-5-34. Sanballat was related by marriage to a son of Eliashib, the high priest at the time of annulment of a mixed marriages forbidden by the law. Nehemiah 13:28. The other 2 were Tobiah the Ammonite slave, Nehemiah 4:1, and Geshem the Arabian, Nehemiah 6:1. Nehemiah faced the onslaught of opposition courageously, the insults 2:19, 4:23, innuendos 2:19, intimidation 6:1-9, and concealed death threat, chapter 6. In spite of repeated mongering coming from the coalition forces of Sanballat, Geshem, and Tobiah, and being accused of treason by rebelling against the king by Sanballat, he continued to persevere in his work and resort to prayer. 6:3-9. The opposition came not because he did the wrong thing, but because he did the right thing. They became jealous of him. In today's world, this green-eyed monster is active, alive, and kicking. So easy for leaders to fall into this trap and then give reasons that work done by others that we do not agree need to be opposed. The human heart is the most deceitful of all things and desperately wicked. Who really knows how bad it is? Jeremiah 17:9. He showed courage when he confronted the prophetess and in meeting crisis. 5:6-13. He became involved in the problems of those working on the city walls and working out a satisfactory solution in chapter 5. When he returned to Jerusalem after a brief visit to Persia, he discovered that some Jews were not tithing. 13:10-12. Some were not keeping the Sabbath. 13:22. And some had married unbelievers. 13:29-31. 13:29-31. He did the right thing by confronting them. There's a desperate need for courageous leaders to lead in business, church, and politics. Courage is rightly esteemed. Read it again. Sir Winston Churchill said, "Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human." Sir Winston Churchill says, "Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others." Men wanted for hazardous journey. Small wages, bitter cold. Small wages, bitter cold. Long hours of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful. Honor and recognition in the event of success. As reported in the Times newspaper 1913 by Ernest Shackleton, for man to join his 1915 Antarctica expedition. What are some of the characteristics of a courageous leader? They pursue their dreams with dogged determination and singular focus. Do not let criticism stand in the way of doing the right thing. Go where no one has gone before. Do what no one has dared to do. Initiate actions instead of wanting others to do so when they see a need. Are not afraid to admit their mistakes. Give credit to others for a job well done, but take the blame when things go wrong. Believe in teamwork because teamwork really works. Put the interests of others above themselves. Live for a cause and die for what they believe. Hope against hope even when there is little hope. Persevere in the midst of difficulties. Speak for the underdogs. Do their work with passion and urgency. Manage their time properly by using strategic time blocking in their works. Focus on possibilities rather than impossibilities. Challenge the status quo. Treat every human being, regardless of the culture or creed, with respect, equality, and dignity. Allow themselves to be used by God for His glory and for the good of the people. Allow themselves to be used by God for His glory and for the good of the people. Are totally sold out to God. Remain true to their convictions, even if it means rejection by others. Do not let personal inadequacy stand in the way of obeying God. Have humble spirit and grateful hearts. Add and multiply value to people's lives. Are motivated by the glory of God and the good of the people. Make integrity, accountability, transparency, and authenticity as their anchor. Are consistent in action and deed, which has a ripple effect. Forgive those who hurt them. Finish what they started.
The program is proudly presented by Global Reach Out. We welcome you to share our live enriching webcasts with family and friends through our website, global-reachout.org. Let's reach out to bless more lives together.